Well, you'll wish you saw this sooner. Democrat media pundits tried and failed to stir a new controversy around Donald Trump's supposed non-answers in press briefings, despite having spent 4 years covering for a diminished president with Joe Biden. You need to see Scott Jennings pulling the rest of this panel off their false moral high horse over the Signal chat controversy before I tell you what's really going on.
The Signal thing is interesting, though, because from the very beginning, his ignorance there seemed to be deliberate. He was not on that Signal chain, but the idea that he didn't know about it when he was first asked about it and the extent to which he doesn't know seems rather deliberate. Yes?
He wants to be associated with things that are positive. That's who Donald Trump is. And that's what makes him a communications genius. And I use the word genius when it comes to communication, not public policy or public welfare. But he knows how to communicate. And when it's negative, he's like, what, me? Don't know nothing about that. Let's talk about some tariffs or something that's good for somebody.
Would you, if he didn't know and he didn't have the facts or he hadn't been briefed on it, what is the alternative here? To go out and make something up or to say, I don't know. I haven't been told. And my understanding is he didn't know about it. He wasn't on it. Maybe he wasn't even aware what Signal is. I mean, it is not inconceivable that the president, when I didn't see the timestamps on these questions, didn't actually have enough information to comment publicly at the time on any of these matters. It's not out of the ordinary for a president to hold back until they have all the facts or all the things they need to know to make a legitimate comment.
Or what would be more concerning, and I think this might be more concerning with the soldiers, or they're not telling him and they're not actually sharing information, or they worry about what he'll say, so they preserve it. I think this is a deeply kind of disturbing thing on basic information. On some political issue, I totally understand. I can even understand perhaps plausible deniability about Signalgate. But I think on national security issues, like issues where soldiers are possibly lost, it is pretty inexcusable that he has not been briefed and he can't speak to it.
And what's worse, a president not having all the information he needs to make a legitimate comment, so he holds back in the moment before being ready to make a comment, or, willfully lying to the American people about the condition of the President of the United States, which went on for 4 years in this country by all of your colleagues.
That is totally wrong. That is totally wrong.
Now, here's what stood out to me. This CNN panel was referencing Donald Trump's response to a question on the 25th of March, which was literally just a few hours to a day after the Atlantic story about the chat. How could someone whose words carry as much weight as the president's speak to such a sensitive matter to a random question from a reporter? By the way, we're asking the tough questions here that no one wants you to ask, so please be sure to subscribe to Man and Mentor to join the conversation. Now, of course, while we all agree the leaks reveal a vulnerability in communication at the highest level that has to be plugged, I'm not sure Scott Jennings is ready to be lectured on this panel by the same people that covered for a president that couldn't speak without a teleprompter or function outside of a 6-hour daily window, as reported by Axios last year. All of it's alleged.
It is noteworthy that the percentage of women who register to vote and cast a ballot is consistently higher than the percentage of the men who do so. End of quote. Repeat the line.
And anyone that wants you to forget about the fact that America basically had no one at the wheel for several years because you shouldn't dwell on the past, as if they don't, is trying to clear their slate of records.
I'm just saying.
I mean,
you guys
I don't
are
know
upset
if you're a judge.
that Trump is exhibiting some, I want to get more facts, and I'm going to be lectured by the people who lied to the American people about the condition of the president?
Oh, my God.
No way.
No, but
not going to take
that's first of all, that's outrageous.
Is
That's
it?
outrageous. Yes, it is.
You think the truth was told? You think the truth was told?
I will say.
Did the White House tell the truth?
I will look forward to this discussion.
Do you all believe the truth was told about Biden?
Scott, do you want government or do you want your lick back? Because even if all of that happened in the past, we're in the present now. So we need a president that is capable.
And so what? He said, I don't know. What did it hurt your life that he said, I don't know? One time,
Biden did it. Biden did it.
Sure,
Biden
I
did
can.
it. But you
Of
cannot
course I
write
can.
that for 4 years.
I absolutely
and expect
can.
the country to move forward.
I 100% can.
You cannot.
Biden wrote it for 4 years on Trump, and Obama wrote it for 8 years on George W. Bush. You're damn right. We were right here.
I mean, CNN is the same network where people like Jake Tapper would have heated exchanges on air with people questioning Biden's mental faculties, and then quietly releasing a whole book on the cover-up of Biden's senility in office. And it sounds especially tone-deaf when, according to an analysis by the New York Post, Donald Trump has already answered thousands of questions in multiple press briefings in just a single month, which is 7 times more than Joe Biden. Now, there's something that Democrat strategist Chuck Rocha said about Trump that I don't think even his critics would deny, which is the kind of answer you'd expect from Donald Trump.
I think all of us who've ever met or been around Donald Trump knows that if somebody would have told him soldiers were missing, and if he would have been briefed on that, and then a reporter asked about him, because he does this with every other thing that he does, he'd have went, we're going to find them, we're going to kick whoever's ass is messing with them, and we're going to burn everything down around them if they don't bring them back right now.
Well, then he should have been told.
I mean, Trump.
I'm saying, we know that's how he would respond if he knew about
then
it.
he
And
should
to
have
that
been
point,
told.
Trump would then start blabbering some of the secrets on the back. We're going to find them. We're going to get them SEAL Team 6s in there. Right now, they're in a Black Hawk helicopter. It's at 300 feet. It's going in latitude, longitude. And you would say too much, so maybe you can't tell me.
But that's just wrong. That's the thing about hindsight, because we've already seen the broad and direct response to many of these questions if only they had waited another day. And part of that is because unlike much of the Democrat base that wouldn't listen to criticism of Joe Biden's declining mental state in office, Republican voters are actually demanding answers for why a chat leak like this could even happen. And it's fair to ask. A poll from last week revealed how 60% of Republicans believe the Signal chat leak was a serious matter that needs to be investigated, and that's despite the fact that there was nothing as explicitly confidential in the chat as it's being made out. Watch how Donald Trump actually responded to a reporter's question when the full extent of the matter had become clear, and how even National Security Advisor Mike Waltz was pushed by Trump to face the media and answer for the leaked discussions about their potential attacks against the Houthi rebels disrupting global shipping.
Well, I think it's a question I've been asked now, and I've given a few answers, and they've all been the same. We have an amazing group. Our national security now is stronger than it's ever been. We have had a very, very successful, numerous attacks on that area. These are people that shoot down ships, not only our ships, ships all over the world. They're shooting down right out of the water and damaging them badly, or they're going down. They're also shooting anything that happens to be flying in the area. We hit them very, very hard. There was no classified information, as I understand it. They used a app, if you want to call it an app, that a lot of people use, a lot of people in government use, a lot of people in the media use. And I think I'll ask Mike. Mike is here. Do you want to respond to that, please?
Yes, Mr. President. You asked about lessons. I think there's a lot of journalists in this city who have made big names for themselves, making up lies about this president, whether it's the Russia hoax or making up lies about Gold Star families. And this one in particular, I've never met, don't know, never communicated with, and we are looking into and reviewing how the heck he got into this room.
Make of that what you will, because the past 2 months have at least shown a greater tendency for the Republican base at large to disagree, debate, and question over matters like this. Whether it's something like the H-1B visa debate, the question of military aid for the war in the Middle East, or now the leaked chats, but there's no one that can deny the stark difference in just how accessible the president has become to reporters and questions, unlike what we've seen in the last 4 years. But tell me in the comments how you process this, because the Republican response to this could set a template for what we see for the rest of the Trump presidency.